First of all, I think it's a wonderful game, playing Drexel. It's a Philadelphia game, and kind of the setting for us after 2 Philadelphia losses and then the long layoff for exams. It was good to be zeroed in on a team that's having such a quality year and is going to have a quality year. And on Selection Sunday, they win their leg, no one's going to be surprised. Halftime was, we did a lot of seasons greetings in the locker room, particularly with one particular player who will remain nameless, but got driven to the basket for a layup, put us down 4. He was issued many season greetings doing that, and I don't normally do that. I'm not. But we had grinded our way kind of to get back in from down 9. I guess we were down 9 in that first half, and put his head between his knees because he had missed some shots in the first half. So we felt that we had an advantage inside right away. We established inside. Foul shooting is, it's no other way to put it. It's embarrassing. 1 for 7.5, 10 for 22 for a game. So we have work to do, lots of work to do. But we're going to go with a little bit more of a spring in our step. These guys did a really nice job last week practicing and staying centered. We centered on our offense over the last stretch of time that we've had off. We had a hard scrimmage inter squad on Sunday. We scrimmaged again on Monday night. We don't normally do that, but I wanted to get all of the academics out of their bodies, and it does wear on them, and it has worn on them. And now it's basketball for about a month. Let's play better.
So you put a little back in with 2 fouls. What was the thought?
Well, this sounds like I should be institutionalized, but I've had voices in my head ever since the new rules went in. And even in our scrimmages, I worked with that. Like, okay, this guy has 2 fouls, let's put him back in. Let's play zone at this point. And when I looked at it, and retrospectively against Villanova, we're holding 7, and Ron and Halil are out with 2. So I had to be confident that I could get them back in. And really studying Drexel, they're not going to throw the ball to those guys. The foul could be on a hand check. We changed our ball screen defense. They don't really run ball screen, they run handoff. We changed that, and we just held our breath that he wouldn't have a moving screen. So that will be the way that we'll continue. We can't play. We're going to keep hoping and working with these guys off the bench, but our best players have to play for us to be successful.
How good was the vote tonight?
Halil was the way he had practiced and the way he talked. He was really emphatic with his teammates about getting your heads up and moving on to the next challenge. He's now a college graduate. He graduated yesterday, finished all of his coursework yesterday. We made a fuss about that, and him being like, he didn't think it was a big deal. And, but 3 of them graduated yesterday: Langston, Eric Kindler, and Halil, and that was really significant. I've never had a team with 3 graduates at the mid-semester or the mid-year like that. So I thought he played slower at the rim he's been rushing. I mean, he was under 40% for the year, and a lot of those have been layups. And feeling good enough to step out and make a three when no one on our team can make a three.
Then you hit a couple of threes. How big were those shots at that point? Just take the lid off a little bit in terms of.
Well, I think Bembry's was a big one. I think that stretched it maybe 3 to 6. After our high school play, to be honest with you, get a technical. His three, Chris Wilson's three, was somewhat, despair because of not having shot clock awareness, and that might have been our first of the year where we didn't have shot clock awareness. And then DeAndre hit a big one off of a little penetration. So, for us to come out and really not have Langston offensively, 75 points against Drexel is doing work.
Billy talked about some of the things you said at halftime, but it seemed like the turnaround started late in the first half.
Yeah, I agree
Is
with
there
that.
something that happened maybe 4 or 5 minutes to go in the half that sparked it, or just being consistent?
I think maybe finding your way. And these are hard games because, look, call it the way it was. The atmosphere was flat. Campus is empty. They're kids. And, but I hadn't brought that up. I had not mentioned it to them, but I felt it. I thought we played. I thought we just, and that's why we scrimmaged, so that we wouldn't start that way. But we got to pick ourselves up. And I'm going to be honest with you. The first play, we had a fast break. We got a foul. DeAndre goes 0 for 2, and there's this dropping of heads, and we can't have that. We're too old for that, and these games are too important. So I think you're absolutely right. I mean, it was 9, and should have been 2 at the half. DeAndre made a kind of a circus shot on the fast break, on a bang. We got an offensive putback there, but the turnaround started with about 5 minutes left in the first half.
You talked about you guys being an older team, but DeAndre, is he picking up on the mentality that those older guys have in terms of? You talk about the hang the head. And
DeAndre is an old soul in a young body. He has an old way of looking at the game, and we're going to have a little meeting with him tomorrow defensively. I think that in the second half he kind of buckled down, but in the first half he kind of sashayed his way around the court. It'll be a little bit harder because we're counting on him. I mean, he had Masonite to start, so we really need him to answer the bell defensively. He's not held to a different standard because he's a freshman. It's not like, oh, well, you know what, he's only 9 games in. Nah, that can't be that way.
With Allen especially, they create interesting matchups. I mean, they didn't make a three. They made only a couple of jump shots, really. I mean, just sort of grade your defense overall.
I thought the zone defense was good. When we made that switch to the zone defense, I thought the second half awareness of where the cutter was coming out, because they have a pattern that they run that guy out. And in the first half, that guy was running out, and we were running behind him, and then he was turning the corner and shooting and going to the rim. But even at halftime, like, all the coaches were stomping their feet about the defense, and I said, we just gave up 27 points. It's the Division I game. It's 1 for 7 from the foul line. It's 0 for 7 from the three-point line, and it's 10 turnovers. Come on, man. But we can't be a kind of team, to be honest with you, Mike, we can't be a kind of team, like if this is a 58-55 game, and you got to grind on every stop, it's going to be a hard way for us to play. We have to be this team. We have to be a team that can get to 72, 73 points.
Yes.
Merry Christmas to everybody.
James, you got one more?
Thank you.